Hey everyone, I'm Brad and this is Watch, Rate, Heart. And this is what I'd like to call, for now, a Watch, Rate, Heart Extra. Basically, if I want to watch a movie and review it right away, I'll do it in an extra. And this first extra is The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and William Hurt, directed by Louis Leterrier, I believe the name is. Sorry. This is the second MCU film right after Iron Man. And why am I deciding to watch this? Well, I wasn't sure if I've watched this before, is the answer, really? I'm doing an MCU catch-up on the 12th of December. I'm recording that right now as we speak. And when I'm doing it, I'm also doing like a ranking of the films that I've watched so far. And I was fairly certain I've seen all of them. And then this popped up, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I've watched this. And I gotta be honest, I'm still not sure if I've watched this before. This has a Letterboxd score of 2.5 out of 5, a Rotten Tomatoes score of 68% fresh, and this did not win or get nominated for any Oscars. Like I mentioned in the beginning, often this is considered the forgotten film in the MCU, and honestly, I can understand why, because I thought I watched it and realized maybe I haven't. Again, I am not sure if I have. I honestly think there's a reason why that is, because this is very unlike a lot of the MCU. A lot of the MCU is very light. It's got some comedy to it. It's pithy. It's got dialogue that's humorous in some aspects when it shouldn't be. And this film is pretty dark visually and also very brooding and moody in certain spots. It's meant to be a much more serious film than any of the other MCU films, and I think that's why a lot of people forget about this. I think the drama in this film is a lot better than the action. It kind of reminds me in the way that Wakanda Forever was like, because I thought Wakanda Forever, the action was kind of bad, but the drama in the film was actually very good. And for the most part, that's how I feel about with this film, only I think the drama Wakanda Forever is better than this. The performances by Edward Norton, Tim Roth, and William Hurt are good. I think Hurt himself makes a really good slimy villain in the film, and I kind of wish they kept him as the main villain. They kind of turned Tim Roth's character into a villain later on as the film went on. As for negatives, I mentioned this film is darker than most of the MCU films, and it kind of just feels like an off film to a certain extent. Liv Tyler is kind of weak in the role that she's in. She basically just looks sad and distressed and worried throughout the entire film, and that's basically it. She's supposed to be a very brilliant scientist, and all you get to know of is, oh no, Bruce, and that's about it. But then again, I don't think Liv Tyler was all that good in doing that either. And the action in the film is decent, but I think the final fight scene was kind of a letdown. There's some decent action sequences in the film, and that seems to be kind of the curse of the Hulk movies. The Hulk movie from Ang Lee, the action scenes were okay, and that's kind of how I feel in this one too, but I think, like I said, the end action sequence is kind of a letdown. Yeah, so overall, I'm going to agree with the Letterboxd community and give this film 2.5 out of 5. It's okay. I did find it entertaining in spots. It's just that for what it was trying to do, I don't think it succeeded very well at it. I think the drama is pretty good in the film. I think mainly because the performances by Norton, Roth, and Hurt are really good in the film. But if I'm being honest, the action sequences are decent, but the big finale is not good, really. I was kind of bored throughout watching that end. Honestly, if you haven't seen it and you've watched all the MCU, you might as well watch it. It's below 2 hours, which makes it another odd one from other MCU films that are like 2.5 hours long. So if you are interested, I'd say check it out. Just don't expect anything that great. Overall, I give The Incredible Hulk 2.5 stars out of 5. Let's get into Letterboxd reviews. This one's from Jade Talks Too Much. Jade gives it 3 stars out of 5 with a heart, and Jade says, Bruce Banner always says you won't like him when he's angry, but I only like him when he's angry. He's so boring when he's not angry. The giant raging Hulk monster stuff is fun. Everything else is dull. I'll give it a 3 stars because it's pretty fun watching Hulk smash shit up and fight Tim Roth. Just wish there was a little more personality for the other characters. See, I'm the exact opposite of Jade here. I think the action sequences are the weak stuff in the film, whereas the drama with Bruce Banner and Edward Norton dealing with everything and trying to find a cure to get rid of this is the highlights of the film. But I guess that's my difference on that, and Jade feels otherwise. This next review is from Green Arrow 777. Green Arrow gives it 3.5 stars out of 5 with a heart, and Green Arrow says, "This is way better than I remember it being. The only awful CG scene was the one on the cave with the rain. It looked incredibly fake, but other than that, it holds up incredibly well. Rest in peace, William Hurt." Although I agree that scene looked really fake, it doesn't really bother me all that much. I think the worst CG is actually Abomination, when Tim Roth turns into Abomination. I thought that looked ugly as hell. So that's just me. This next review is from the official Obama. Yes, sir. The official Obama gives it 1 star out of 5. And he says, "Fuck this movie, easily the worst MCU project and it's not even close. Sir, have you seen the Thor the Dark World or Thor Love and Thunder? I swear to you, they are much worse than this." Maybe you didn't get that far in, which good for you if you haven't. So I respectfully disagree. And this last review is from Chase. Chase gives it 2.5 stars out of 5. And Chase says, "Okay, yeah, this is shittier than I remember it being, but it's still kind of cool, I guess." Which, again, I don't remember if I have seen it before. I might have. I don't know. But I kind of agree with him. It's not great, but I don't think it's bad. It's got some cool parts to it. I think some of the action's decent, and I think some of the drama is very good. But overall, it's just kind of a mess of a film. And that's really all I can say about The Incredible Hulk. It's a film that I honestly was curious as to why I forgot about it. And then after watching it, I understand why. It's not that good. And for this to be the second film after Iron Man is really interesting, because you would think that if Iron Man was so great and then this one didn't do so well, that would have stalled out the MCU, but it didn't. So I think that's kind of interesting, because like now The Incredible Hulk is kind of forgotten, but now it's easy to see why. But before I go, as always, let me ask you a question. Why hasn't there been another solo Hulk movie in the MCU? Man, there's a couple of reasons why. One is probably because the first one didn't do so well. And I think the other is, honestly, my real answer is because a good Hulk film that is true to the character is one that wouldn't really be interesting to MCU fans. There's a reason why I think Hulk gets bits and pieces of story and character work around all the MCU films. The Hulk, even though he is a force of destructive nature, he's actually a much more thoughtful and complex hero. And I don't think the MCU fans want that complex of a hero. He's more of an erstwhile and reluctant hero, especially in this film. And I think one that in the comics, the few I've read of his at least, has tried to end his own life unsuccessfully because he doesn't want to deal with this. He's a character that generally doesn't like the power that he has, which is a diametric opposite of all the other heroes that have powers. How do you make a second MCU film without it betraying who the character is? The answer is twofold. Either you make it a slow, fully developed character study about the psyche and emotional instability of Bruce Banner, or you just make it into like a wham-bam destructathon, and that, I think, really would be more boring than anything else. I just don't think the MCU fans want another Hulk film where he spends 85% of the film hating himself and wanting to be rid of this power, only for him to eventually just give in because he has to. They just want cool action set pieces, and they also want it light and with funny dialogue. They want an MCU film. That's what they want. And for the Hulk to have its own film, I just don't think it can be an MCU film. And I think that's why the MCU largely decided to make him a regular recurring character instead of having his own film. So they can feed it to the audience piece by piece, and if they want to have a deeper story, they could just piece it together themselves. Now, I would love a Hulk film myself. I think that would be very interesting. But one that is just action heavy would be pretty antithetical to the character. And this is coming from someone who likes Ang Lee's Hulk film. Let me know why you think they haven't made another Hulk MCU film down in the comments section. If you liked any of the reviewers I've highlighted in this episode, you can check the video description for a link to their Letterboxd profile, and be sure to give them a follow and let them know that Brad from Watch Rate Heart sent you. You can follow me at Letterboxd and X at Watch Rate Heart. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and share with your friends. I'm Brad from Watch Rate Heart. Thank you for watching, and remember, we all watch and rate movies, but you give them the heart that makes them live forever.